to episode 14 of Things We Play. It's Tuesday the 8th of May. My name is Mike Oldman, and we've got an awesome show lined up for you today. Of course, joining me on the show, not necessarily as always, is the man that's like a cross between Johnny Cash and no cash whatsoever, Sean Hart. And the newest addition to the TWP Arsenal, Joseph Vincenzo Luigi Tom Clancy Tonetta. Guys, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Joe?
I'm doing well.
Good. That's good. It's been a week.
Again.
It's been a whole week. 7, count them, days. I hope we've been playing a lot of games, but before we get into that, how have your general lives been being? 'Cause I like to try and, just make sure that everyone under the Mike Oldman wing is okay.
Again, what? Oh man, I'm so gonna knock you the fuck out.
I've got a wing for each of you here. Sean, you're under my left wing.
You're too short for me to be under your wing. What the fuck are you talking about?
How's your week been? Tell me what have you been up to?
Jack, it's been alright. Nothing major's happened. I can't think of anything fantastically, gratuitously awesome, other than retro shit.
Retro shit. Okay.
But we'll talk about that later.
We're going to talk about the end because we got a little bit of a special retro thing coming up on the end, which combines that. Okay, so you've had a pretty uneventful week then, it would seem. Awesome, nice one. Joe, how about you? Under my right wing.
My week's been pretty uneventful. I've just been playing games, watching some stuff, nothing special.
Basement living.
I don't live in a basement.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Sounds like, if you say, I haven't done anything, just watching stuff. Listening to the dripping of the water in the corner of the room, occasionally emptying a bucket.
I may look like a basement dweller, but I'm not.
Okay, fair enough. So, again, not particularly eventful.
No.
It was May Day. No one did anything.
Well, actually, I did go out for May Day. I went down, watched the parade, had some drinks.
It's always nice.
Yeah, you know.
I'm just trying to get out there that you're okay.
I'm okay. I'm living.
All right. Well, I haven't had much of an eventful week either, to be perfectly honest. I didn't do anything for May Day. Played a lot of games. Again, some retro stuff that we're going to come on to at the end. I was looking for a PS2. We went searching for a PS2 last time.
Yeah.
And that was a failure.
Uneventful, yeah.
Yeah, PS2. So I'm not prepared to pay that amount of money for a fat PS2. I want a thin PS2, and I want to pay next to nothing for it. Although I was looking on eBay because of that. And I remember I was talking to you about it, Sean. The what was it called? There was this weird console, and it was called...
You found quite a few weird consoles.
Yeah, I was looking at what I was looking at, not a lot of people do know them actually, but things like the NES and the Mega Drive in particular had lots of reissues afterwards. And, everyone knows about the Mega Drive 2.
Yeah.
But it was later redesigned as Mega Drive 3, and there's a redesigned NES that was smaller, top loader.
There's stuff like Wonder Mega as well, which had...
Yeah, exactly, and there's loads of variants on that.
Mega CD built into one unit, wasn't it?
But then there was also all these sort of like underground sort of dodgy...
there was always,
sort of, it was a NES in a box, but it wasn't a NES. Or
back
it was
in
a
the
NES
day,
in a
it was always the console that could play a Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo.
And the Super Nintendo, yeah, exactly. The fabled sort of, oh my word, that's not
and
possible. Get out,
man.
appearing
like super planes.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It's like, shut your crazy lying mouth. But now, so I found this console anyway, and it was a Mega Drive. It was basically this big sort of, it was almost like a star shape almost, and you could put Mega Drive games in it, and it would play Mega Drive games. You could put SNES games in it, and it would play SNES games, and you could put NES games in it, and it would play NES games. And on the sides had like 2 ports for NES controllers, 2 ports for SNES controllers, and 2 ports for Mega Drive controllers. And I thought that's freaking awesome. It had a little dial on the top for switching between games. It was cool.
But you also found I can't remember what it was called, the handheld Super Nintendo.
Yeah, whatever that was, the SNES Boy or something, which was like a portable SNES in the shape of a SNES controller with a screen in the middle, and again 2 joystick ports on the side. I don't know, that stuff kind of.
That had AV out on it as well, so it could function, and it took whole Super Nintendo cartridges.
Yeah, so it's a really good way of actually, if you want a NES now and you want it to guarantee to work, get a new one. So, but there were official variants as well. So I was looking into that. I didn't get a PS2, but it did make me do some other stuff. I turned back on my iPad and attacked it, and I jailbroke my iPad, which has turned it into the most awesome thing ever, if I'm perfectly honest. But we'll talk about that more a little bit later, because that's sort of tied into some of our retro stuff. So, uneventful weeks for us, perhaps. But we've both. Because I was looking at you independently. We've all played games. I don't know what to start with. Should we start with Sniper Elite?
Yeah, can do.
Because we played. I was really looking forward to Sniper Elite, and have we all played it? You didn't play it, Sean.
I didn't bother.
Frankly. But Joe, you did.
Yeah, I played it.
Tell me what you thought of it.
I liked it. I really did. But
you really liked it.
Yeah, I played the first one. You didn't.
I didn't. Yeah, that's true.
So if you played the first one, they are very similar. They all have aspects of slowdowns and your shots at distances and your wind and all that sort of stuff. It was a good Second World War sniper game. That's why I like the second one. It just had the same features that I loved from the first and just added more to it.
Yeah. Okay. It was. To anyone who's played the demo, and we're playing on Xbox 360, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who's played the demo, it's just kind of more of the same. It's you're a sniper. You're going out there. You're the premise of the game. It's sort of like, this is what we want to do. Is that you're a sniper. You're in the world. You tactically setting up your shots. You're sneaking between buildings and you're tagging guys and then picking them off one by one and not being alerted and moving around and and you're laying trip mines and it's like you are a sniper. You're a one-man team. Yeah, taking down whole armies. That's kind of the premise. Yeah. The game is not like that, man.
No, it really doesn't give you any points where you can, I'll sneak into this building, I'll go around, I'll set up sneaky shots.
Yeah.
So as soon as you fire that first bullet, everyone knows what you are.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just cannot hide.
And it is the least free game ever. It's so linear, it's unbelievable. So there's no sort of different ways to play a lot of the missions. What really bugs me about the game is that it's a lie. I keep seeing a lot of reviews online and a lot of people talking about it, and they're going, "Oh, this game, yeah, it's really good," and the kill cams and for diehard snipists, you're gonna really love this game. And it seems like people are going, okay, there's a lot of people that don't like sniping. They play Call of Duty, they play Halo, and sniping's the one thing they don't like. And I feel like because of those people, they're sort of going, well, I'm not really interested in the sniping game, and they're dismissing it immediately. It's similar to sort of the way John Madden games have always been dealt with. If you don't understand American football, you're just kind of like, well, it's probably a really good game. It looks really hardcore. It's got all the stuff, as far as I know, it's got all the stuff in there that people want. That's badass. And I feel like people are doing that for Sniper Elite. Because on the surface, it looks like it does all this really accurate, hardcore, simulated sniping stuff. It's got wind you've got to account for and gravity of your bullets and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, you seem pretty pro. But the game is not like that. The game is as arcadey as hell, man. None of it works properly. It's a classic Rebellion game now. I said before, I wish it wasn't made by Rebellion because it is cheap. The AI is shoddy. It says it's doing all this stuff. The first mission, this is where it sums it up really. The first mission there's like the training mission, Joe. Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
And it's set up to show you a load of stuff that is like, this game is so cool, you booby trap a body with a landmine, you set a tripwire and it says, you'll be going back to that later, it kind of says you set a tripwire and it goes, set this so that when you're escaping later, yeah, and it's like, okay, you're making a big deal out of me preparing this mission and I'm taking people down. You never do that again in the game. Ever. It never calls for it to be done again. It's just saying you could do this. And you're not booby-trapping a body. You're placing a landmine near a body. I could put the landmine anywhere. It's not like it's a thing you can do in the game. In the game, you cannot booby-trap bodies with landmines. You can just place landmines on the floor. If there's a body next to one, then that's a body next to a landmine. You haven't booby-trapped it.
What you were saying to me the other day was that it's not that you're booby-trapping the body, it's just that the AI cannot see landmines.
Yeah, exactly. The AI can't see.
You can put the landmines anywhere and they'll just walk into
it. And the AI goes to the bodies because they're a point of interest because someone being shot.
Yeah.
And that was German, believe it or not.
Right,
and so it's just kind of, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. That first mission just looks like that's the mission that they kind of showed to publishers and showed to the press and went, hey, have a look at this. And there's nothing like that in the rest of the game. It's terrible. It's not terrible because it is fun. I did enjoy it, but man, that game is so much missed potential. It's unreal.
The game could have been a lot better than it was. It did have some cool moments in there when I was playing it.
It nails the atmosphere of looking down the sights and slowly picking someone off. That's quite cool. And when you successfully tag someone from miles away, that's brilliant. That's a really good feeling. And the kill cams are awesome, if a little gratuitous.
It's like when you do your loadout at the beginning of a game, like you were saying, you don't use trip mines or anything like that. I literally just took grenades with me, just in case I got into a firefight.
Well, I completed the game. So first of all, the game is short as well. I mean, I only rented it and I completed it within the first 5 hours of getting it home, and that was on sort of normal mode. I played through that whole time without even realising there was a loadout.
Really?
Yeah. So I then went and I've done the game again now in Sniper Elite mode, but it was only going through on the second time that I realised there was a loadout screen. That was how irrelevant that whole thing was.
They have the mission briefing, then the next part is a map showing you the area and your objectives, spotting towers.
No, never.
Only you read those things.
I never even saw a map.
Yeah, it's like you press RB.
No. So that's what I'm not doing. I'm not pressing RB. When the load screen's coming up and it's going...
I'm pressing start.
Yeah,
Hurry the fuck
and it's
up.
going, he was a one-man thing. I
want to shoot people
down.
from far away.
I'm just pressing the A button as soon as it says press the A button to continue, and it's not taken. I'm like, there is no loadout. The game never even
It
suggested
really doesn't show you anything, but it's like when it comes up, like press RB and it'll go to the next screen, which is a map with your objective, and it shows you like spotting towers and things like that.
Again.
And then you press RB
Only
again.
you read those shit.
But that's important stuff. That's stuff that will help you, strategically get into the game more than thinking. I'm just saying you didn't need to in any way.
It's like when you're in game, you can hold back and it brings up the map as well.
Exactly. But it's sort of like, it's weird how they don't rely on any of this stuff at all. That's what I mean by it being smoke and mirrors. All this stuff's kind of in there, but it is unnecessary. It's kind of like it's like a non-working part. It's like, oh, we've put this in as well, but we haven't really thought about any of it whatsoever. We can now put on a box that this is in there. Customizable loadouts, cool, but I don't need to ever, because they don't change. You get a new sniper rifle as you go through the different levels and new machine guns, but they're all one and the same anyway. The actual equipment of trip mines and stuff is always there, and by default it gives you kind of one of each. And it's like, well, I don't need it. It's
the rifles do change.
They do, yeah, they do. They do. As you go through the game, you unlock new ones. Don't you?
Yeah,
You find a new rifle each time.
Yeah, but they are quite different. If you know the weapons, they have different strengths depending on your playstyle.
I suppose. But it's not like you could do it all with one.
Yeah, you could.
The game is not the hardcore sniping game that I thought it was.
You can probably play it like that. There was one part where I started a level and it's like you got to sneak through part of Berlin, and you've got to clear out a courtyard. There's a tank at the beginning, there's a few guys, and every time a bomb goes off, it hides the sound of your shot. And I fought my way through a section and found a back alley, ended up in some house. Silently took out two guys, and I found myself in a window on the top floor, and I managed to mark every single person, and then I just sort of continued just to snipe them all one by one, and none of them noticed.
See, again, that's quite cool, all right, and marking people is quite cool, except for if you play it on the harder difficulty, which is what I'm doing now, you can't mark people. So it takes that functionality completely out of the game. It's like I'm on a hard. I'm now getting into more hardcore. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty level there is, and it's taken away some of the strategic stuff, thus making the game harder, but also less enjoyable. Because there's less to do. The enemies pissed me off in that as well, because for a sniping game to work in that, going on this idea, hey guys, we're this strategic hardcore, we got everything in it. I want to get into a level, and I want to take out everyone. I want to be where I am. I want to view every single person on that level, from my vantage point that I've chosen, and I want to take out meticulously every single person. Except for the levels aren't built like that. The levels are built like you can take out 6 people. Then once you walk closer to, because you're from a distance, it's a sniper rifle. Once you walk closer to the environment where they all were, 6 more people will come out of nowhere. And it's like
what you referred to me the other day when we was off air, the monster closet.
Yeah, exactly. They just jump out of a monster closet, and it's just sort of like they're there. The game's telling me they're there. They've just run out of all the huts and stuff where everyone else was, but they weren't there 10 minutes ago when I was sniping everyone from the beginning, and that really bugs me. I should be able to take out everyone. And there's a lot of times like that where you've got to walk past certain areas in order to trigger the enemies to even appear. And then there's alternatively there's other times where the AI can spot you in the dark from 4 miles away across the map and just be hitting you. It's weird. It's inconsistent.
The second one is a lot more arcadey than the first one. It sounds like you were more after the first one, because if you play the first one, it is big open areas. There is sneaking. People don't spawn randomly. They're just given their location on the map. They do patrols, things like this, and you have objectives to work through. You can climb up into a building and take everyone out from that.
So where's all that gone? Why?
It seems to me that they're just trying to make it more accessible to more people.
Just
the second
yeah.
one. So they've dumbed it down.
But yeah, it doesn't. It just seems shoddy to me. It seems like more like
give
the
it flashy
games.
kill cams, then it gets great reviews because people are like, oh, it's got X-ray bits.
To me, it smacks more of the fact that like this is more like a Rebellion game than anything else. This is like Rogue Warrior and Shell Shock, and you know, it's shoddy.
I can't remember who made the first one, but I don't think it was.
I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it's always been Rebellion.
They just seem to have gone back on what they learned from the first one, because the first one was amazing.
Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the game, but I would not. It's no way worth the asking price at all. It just reuses the same amount of assets over and over and over again. It's difficult to quantify this game. It's fun. If you see it for a tenner in a bargain bin, I would certainly pick it up, but I wouldn't buy it new. It's not perfect, but it's different. It is different. It's genuinely different to other stuff.
I think that's what they've gone for. They've gone to make it more arcadey to try and draw more people in, and then just lost what people liked about the first one.
Did you do the multiplayer?
I done co-op.
You didn't do any of the other stuff? Just is that just co-op through campaign missions?
They have several versions of co-op. So they have the entire story on co-op. They have Overwatch, whereas one person's the spotter and the other person's a sniper. So one person works their way through the level with a submachine gun, while the other player watches them from a building and covers them. And then they have another one which is just like horde mode, so just wave after wave after wave of enemies come after you. And then they have bombing run, which I haven't played yet.
Okay. Well, I did everything but I didn't do any campaign co-op, but I did some of the spotting and shooting co-op, which was all right. It was I was never the spotter, so I don't know what that was like. So sniping was cool. It was like tags were appearing on my map that the other dude was making, and I was just taking people out. And then every 4 or 5 minutes, we'd have to run over to each other and heal each other because someone had been shot or something. But what was it like tagging? Are you literally just a pair of binoculars? Is it first-person binoculars all the way?
No, it's third person, so you've always got a submachine gun and a pistol. But you just pull out your binoculars, you mark it, and then the sniper can just take them out, or you can just shoot yourself.
So it's all right. It's not a bad gimmick, but it's not multiplayer that I want to spend ages on. There's no competitive deathmatch in the console versions. The PC versions has team deathmatch.
Does it?
But it was not in the console versions for some reason, which is a bit weird. I know there's been some sort of like, you bastards online for it, but it's no one's. And I say no one's going to be playing that in a few months. They will be, because it's niche game. It's one of those ones that does have longevity online for that. You're never going to be loads of people playing it, but you'll probably always find that there's a game going.
But my co-op single player just broke down into the two of us just trying to steal each other's kills. We weren't doing stealth or anything. We were just running around with sniper rifles, shooting people, trying to steal each other's kills.
Nice.
And get the coolest shot.
You miss out on the kill cams as well, don't you?
They still have them.
But you don't get do you still get the X-ray ones?
On some of them, yeah.
Okay, but most of the time it's just like a straight bullet cam.
It's weird when you're playing though, because you'll be playing through, and then all of a sudden your game will stop, and it'll switch to a bullet flying through the air, then hitting someone in X-ray, and so that was the other person. Then the first time it happened, I was like, "What's going on here?" And then you sort of see the bullet. It's like, I guess they must have taken the shot.
So Sniper Elite, it's sneaky. Don't believe people telling you that it's this hardcore sniping game, because it's not. It's just lying, and it's not as good as it says it is, but it's not bad. But if the box is telling you it's great, the box is lying.
I think a lot of boxes do lie at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't trust anyone.
It's true.
That's best thing for it. Don't trust anyone.
I guess it's just
people
start measuring the amount of lies on boxes or something.
Yeah.
All right. So what else have we got to talk about that we played? I've sunk a lot of time into that this week. Really weird. It's one of the first times in a long time that I've played a game, completed it, because I completed it so quickly. I was like, I'm going to go back in on harder difficulty. It's not often I do that I finish a game twice on different difficulty levels.
It's very rare.
And Sniper Elite made me do it just so I could get my money's worth. And my money's worth was only £5 because I rented it. So let that be a warning to you. I felt cheap. I felt like Blockbuster had screwed me. And that was £5 for a rental. Bear that in mind. Fable Heroes.
Yeah, we can talk about Fable
You played
Heroes.
some Fable Heroes, Sean, because you're still on. Because you were on an XBLA trip.
Yeah.
Because of some issues with your 360 that I hear are now fixed.
They're resolved. Yes.
This is good news.
It was speedy. Yeah, it was like 24 hours. And no, it wasn't even 24 hours. I took it in about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and got it back about 11 o'clock next day.
That's sweet.
And still had to borrow an Xbox for fear of boredom for the evening.
Yeah.
Off my mate Sam. Thank you, Sam, very much. He doesn't listen to the show, but his brother does. Like Ricky. Fable Heroes. It's interesting. Had quite a negative view on what it was going to be like.
It looks like garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't look fantastic. I like the art style of the whole puppet sort of theme.
Yeah,
it's a spin-off from Fable. It incorporates kind of characters from all 3 games. Best way to describe it is a kind of side-scrolling beat-em-up. It has a weird sort of board game section to it. So people, if you see any kind of screenshots of it, you might consider it to be along the lines of Mario Party.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not. The board represents... yeah, maybe. No, not really. Mario Party suck. The board represents abilities. It's your skill tree.
Okay.
So you roll dice, your character moves around, you buy... for every square, there's 3 options. Obviously, that comes to an end at some point, because you'll get all of your abilities. You then move on to inner square, which are tied to achievements. So the squares are unlocked, and they offer single round perks. So every time you go into a level, you get specific perks for that. It's all right. It's not bad. It's compelling playing, leveling up, unlocking new characters.
It's just and you're just button mashing, right?
Yeah,
it's just
it is
hack
a
and
lot.
slash.
It is a lot of mashing of the X button.
It just looks really basic, man.
It is very basic. The strange thing is, if they had Fable 3 controls, if they'd mapped that to this game, they would have been perfect for this game, because they're inadequate for a full RPG.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I see what you did.
Yeah, it's like if they'd given it Fable 3 controls, you'd be like, this game is fucking awesome.
I don't like the art style. The little dolls, like you said earlier, they look quite cool.
Yeah,
but they're not consistent with the rest of the art style. That's the only thing. They're like that, and then like the world looks like to me it looks like a PS2 Lego game.
Except for it doesn't look like Lego.
No, nor did the PS2 Lego games.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it all looks the dolls themselves are the best part, and they're not particularly great. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not as endearing or as lovable as like a Sackboy or even like Microsoft avatars. Man. they're pretty poor. They're voodoo dolls.
Yeah, to a degree, but yeah, the first kind of week of it was quite competitive online, because you've got a level called Cloud, which was only open to the top 100 players for like the first 4 days or something, and they had to accumulate $1 million or 10 million between them to open that level. So it's weird, because obviously I saw the level, it was racking up money while I was playing, so I was within the top 100.
Okay.
But I hadn't read the instructions. Obviously, it's not a box game, so it doesn't have an instruction manual. You have to go into the options to look at the instructions. Then I was playing through again like a day or 2 later, and suddenly it wasn't accruing money. And I'm like, what the fuck? How am I ever going to get to this level? So I went in, had a look, and it was like top 100. So I was like 429th in the world at that point. So I played for about 4 hours straight and got to 126th in the world. So it was like 26 places away from it. But that's now been open to all.
So how are you progressing up the leaderboards?
Just through pure money. The entire goal is just rack money, because money equates to rolls of the dice on your ability board.
And how do I get money?
Through smashing stuff.
Alright.
It's a scrolling beat 'em up. How do you think you get money?
Well, I don't know.
You kill stuff.
You didn't tell me.
Oh, okay. Like money's all tied to your combat multiplier.
Alright.
So the higher your combat multiplier, the more value you get. So if, for example, you pick up a 10 piece gold coin, if you've got a 5 times multiplier, that is then worth 50. You can get like a bonus additional multiplier, which will take you up 6 times multiplier, and then your combat multiplier is there. So every time you're attacking something, it's ticking up. It goes up like 1 level for about every 2 or 3 kills you get. Obviously, if you're hit, it then drops. So the idea is to play as well as you can, so your multiplier doesn't drop, so you accrue more money to then get gold on each level. Blah blah blah. Standard kind of gold rating.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Getting gold on every level is a fuck up. I mean, Cheryl's done it. Of course, Cheryl's done it. She's like, I don't even know. She had 1 like achievement to get, and she was like number 2 in the world overall. Yeah,
but you guys were looking forward to this game for some reason. What was it? And okay, so it's Fable Tide. I know you and Cheryl are both big Fable fans, but you were like, yeah, I can't wait for Fable Heroes. Why?
Because I wasn't.
Is it just the Fable attachment?
I was quite hesitant about.
You had 1,200 Microsoft points set aside for it.
But I've got 1,600 set aside for Minecraft tomorrow. I
suppose.
don't think I'm going to like it.
But it's just I fail to see what the appeal is of Fable Heroes. Do you know what I mean? It's just got. It's like, you know, if we're saying it's this hack and slash 4-player co-op, you know, scrolling game or whatever.
Yeah.
There's loads of those.
Yeah.
You know, we can't even say that it's that under a Fable skin, because it's not really, because these puppets and marionettes are not really something from the Fable world.
Yeah, they are.
It's just kind of got the Fable name
If you
on it.
played Fable, you'd know that
All right,
in
okay.
Fable 1 and 2 there are the puppets.
So is it
that
that,
you
and
can
is it
collect.
just the Fable connection enough that made you want to go for it?
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's not the
No,
strongest.
but I've got Castle Crashers, I've got Scott Pilgrim vs. I've got other 4-player scrolling beat 'em ups.
Yeah, true, but those two both shared a similarity in a visual style to a degree that this doesn't. This just looks weak. That's my argument.
Okay, that's your argument, but at the same time, can you judge things on graphics alone?
Are you telling me that this is a groundbreaking game that everyone should go out and buy?
No,
There you go.
I mean, if you like Fable, you probably will like it. It doesn't really have the humour because there's no dialogue. It's just
Fair enough.
okay.
Do you know who's been surprisingly quiet on the matter?
Joe?
I don't like to discuss Fable.
Okay.
I loved Fable 1, I like Fable 2, I like Fable 3, and I hate Peter Molyneux.
All right, well let's not go into that. That sounds like a dark, spiraling conversation of hate.
Fable Journeys is the worst thing ever.
Fable. We've already discussed Fable for longer than I would like to on this podcast because it's boring.
Fable 1 is one of the greatest games ever made.
Brilliant. Okay.
No, I agree. Lost Chapters pisses on Fable 1 and is the pinnacle in Fable.
It's weird that, you know, the sort of Game of the Year edition of Fable 1 is the best Fable game they've made.
This is the last time we talk about any Fable game on the
No,
podcast because
I
it just leads into.
guarantee
No. We're talking about Fable Heroes now, and we've gone into Fable 1 talk from yesteryear. It's not retro enough to be interesting. It's not exciting in any way. No more. I'm putting an end to it. No, done.
You just asked me my opinion because I was extremely quiet. I
On
was giving you an
Fable
opinion.
Heroes, you fool.
He doesn't have an opinion on Fable Heroes.
Because I haven't played it.
Why not?
Because I don't want to play it.
There you go. That's it.
It's not a proper Fable game.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the point. It's kind of weird.
But it's not. It's every last couple of Fable games. Well, from 2, they've always had like an arcade plug-in.
Yeah,
And this is to the journey.
it just seems a bit strange. It's sort of like it's.
No, but Pub Games was for 2.
But it was still more
There was the
connected.
crappy
Pub Games-
Kingmaker.
Yeah, for number
Both
3.
of those made more sense to the games that they were. What we're saying is that this is now like diluting it too much. Almost, it's like this is unexpected. This is out of left wing. You know. The Pub Games
to a degree
tied
it
directly
is.
into.
No, to a degree it is because
Yeah.
it was just like one guy had an idea. He posted. He said it to whoever. At
It's
Lionhead,
dreadful.
And they went, yeah, let's give
Yeah.
it a go, and it's all right.
It's just not. That seems to me to dilute Fable a bit too much with the sort of, you know, like a lot of games just get weak XBLA games. Red Faction got one. Space Marine got one. You know, and now this kind of feels like another one. It's like this sub tier of, and it's almost billed as like a high end XBLA game, but it's not. This isn't one of the best XBLA games.
It's
out
not
there.
1,200 points.
No.
It's 800.
But it's still, I think, because of the stature of a name like Fable, it's kind of like you'd expect that to be a good XBLA game.
Would you?
Yeah.
But the past 2 Fables have got worse with every
Oh, but
iteration.
then all right, and then let's go. Let's leave it. But, you know, I didn't want to talk about Fable anyway. But we're not coming to any conclusion on anything of like, actually, to me, it's a big name. Fable is a big name. Yeah, when a game comes out, it's huge.
Yeah.
If there was a Halo XBLA game tomorrow, you know, you'd expect that game to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't fantastic, it was just sort of like a middle of the road XBLA game, you'd be disappointed, and that's kind of what I'm saying about this Fable thing.
But the point I'm making is that Fable is a middle of the road RPG, so a middle of the road XBLA game is not unsurprising.
But it's a big brand for.
Yeah, but it's just because the first one was good. So
And people loved the third one. People loved the third one.
Why?
Because you
The combat shit.
But it's not about combat. It's not a combat game.
But it's not even that funny. Everyone's like, "Oh, I love the humour in Fable."
All
It's
right.
not that funny.
All right. Well, we're getting nowhere on
It's
Fable,
like Monty Python. It's just not that funny.
but it's a very successful series, is my point.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come from just everyone hating on games. So just because you guys have bad experiences with Fable 2 or 3 or whatever, It's not going to go away. Like, you know, we got this Fable game, we got another Fable game coming. Will there be a Fable 4?
Yeah, I think it's.
You know,
it's in the
almost
works.
certainly. Fable Heroes seems like it's just disappointing. You know, or just nothing particularly special about it.
I think Fable translates into English as disappointing. That's our conclusion.
Then you shouldn't have spent 1,200 points.
I didn't. I spent 800.
You shouldn't have spent
in your face.
Then you shouldn't have spent 800 points.
Well, I should have spent 1,200 on Bloodforge either, but I did.
Yeah.
Just deal with it, man.
All right. No, that's fine. It's not my bank balance. Sean, you've been playing some Prototype 2.
Yeah.
We did talk about it a little bit last week, but it'd be interesting to know your opinion on it. Because, Joe, you quite liked it.
Yeah, at that point, and then I played it again. My opinion changed.
Okay.
I actually prefer it to number one. I mean, I was
I should hope so.
very, very down on number one.
The first one was
terrible.
terrible.
Yeah, the combat's really addictive, I find, in this. I like the evade in it. It kind of slows things down when you dodge over people. And also the countering works really well, kind of along the lines of Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine. So you've got a nice little counter and it goes into bullet time, and you've got the little flip over them and it goes into bullet time, and then you just slash them up from behind and stuff. So far I've found the stories a bit more engaging than the last one as well. At first I was skipping the cutscenes, and then I started to get quite pulled in and started actually not skipping the cutscenes, almost paying attention to them. It still does have the repetitive nature of the first one, but there is more variety to the repetition. You kind of have you've got a 2-tier leveling system, so you level up as well as getting mutations. Mutations expand on what you already have, though leveling up does to a degree as well. For some reason, the leveling perks are delivered in Fallout style, so you kind of got Helia, the main character, Sergeant Helia, but in various different kind of comedy drawn pictures that look very similar to Fallout. Would you say, Joe?
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Cheers.
Sorry to wake you up. He's dribbling a bit.
Have you got far through it? Have you finished it yet?
43%.
43%. Okay.
Rented it yesterday.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
There's a lot of collectibles though I just couldn't be bothered with.
Yeah, I can understand.
What are you collecting?
Black boxes, so military kind of recordings from mostly troops shooting innocent civilians by the sounds of stuff. As well as you still got hives to do, so you find a spot on the ground, you get 2 to each area. You go down underground, either take out X amount of monsters or infected, pussy, spotty things, and those then unlock further abilities and upgrade stuff that you've already got. I'm quite enjoying it at the moment. Joe had some bad experiences towards the end.
It was like when I started playing it again after I came back from recording this last week. I started to play it again. I stopped going after side bits for mutations. I just thought I would do the campaign. I'll get it done. I felt like just finishing it, and then it just kept going and going. And so I've got to come to the end soon, and then it throws something else out. And I was like, yeah, okay, keep going and going. And eventually I got to Alex Mercer at the end, and it was the most infuriating 20 minutes of my life. You always got to use the opposite of what he's doing in the fight, and I was always trying to do it, and I was dodging, I was jumping around him, but he has attacks you can't dodge, and he's just crazy awesome. So in the end I partially cheated. I'd jump in the air while he was standing there and just land on top of him, dodge a couple of times, jump, land on top of him. I just done that for the rest of the boss battle and just defeated him.
That is slightly weak for an ending, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the
old
ending,
school though.
Yeah.
And then the ending for the game itself is just meh. You know,
yeah, I've heard bad things about the ending before, I must admit.
Yeah, it's just the game just throws things at you, so it's like you think someone's dead, but they're not, and then you end up somewhere, save someone. It just
okay. Well, let's hope no one was planning on finishing Prototype 2. But yeah, okay. So you're not a big fan of it now.
No, I'm glad it's
all right.
over.
Well, to be honest, it sounds much like the first one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No one's raving about it. No one's saying it's the worst thing ever. Some people like it. Some people think it's terrible. It's more of the same. It looks like you're doing exactly the same stuff.
Pretty much. But I think it's just a bit tighter.
Do you reckon there'll be more?
What, prototypes?
Yeah.
I imagine it's sold well enough to warrant a sequel.
Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like they've actually put too much into development.
No, but it's Activision, and they've been out saying they're not, they're not interested in doing stuff that isn't selling. That's why Prototype 2 is weird.
Isn't Call of Duty or World of
Well,
Warcraft?
I think it was something like 5 million sales was what they were saying. That's why they got rid of Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, okay.
So, it was weird that they kept Prototype 2 on, really.
Yeah.
So, whether that's changed or not isn't a matter. But I can't imagine it's sold that much, really.
I don't know. I think it done quite well. People were after it, but I don't think it done as well as they wanted or as well as it could have if they'd done it better.
What the fuck are you saying,
If they made a completely different game.
All right, okay.
Called
Well, we got.
something else.
Let's move this along because I think we're dying. We're going to take a little break and play some lovely music. This is some classic SNES music, actually, that I downloaded only earlier today to show you because it will lead into our next segment. But this is I don't know, it's a piece of background music from Demolition Man on the SNES. It's pretty cool. You love this game. Yeah. See you in 5 minutes. Alright, and we're back. That was Demolition Man with no, that was last week's music.
Much of a muchness.
Sounded a bit like Duke Nukem music. Anyway, Demolition Man's pretty good. Which leads us on to what we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about it now. We've been playing a load of retro stuff.
Yeah.
Said at the top of the show that I jailbroke my iPad. Did it for a lot of reasons, mainly because I'd always been too scared to jailbreak any of my iDevices. Because I didn't think it was reversible, for a start. And I also didn't think you'd be able to use your iPhone or iPad or anything as a normal iPhone or iPad.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's just exactly the same as my iPad, but now with a load of awesome crap on it as well.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. Some of those things that are on there are emulators now. So, being able to emulate a load of old SNES games and save us digging out the old consoles and wrestling with carts and stuff and playing some weird stuff. What made that extra awesome, though, was that obviously playing games on an iPad or an iPhone, not always great because of the on-screen controls.
Pretty unresponsive.
Yeah, with an emulator they're often even worse because they're just kind of really thrown on there last minute by, sort of, not second-rate coders, but, they're not professionally done. But all these jailbreaks allow you to sync Wiimotes and other Bluetooth devices to it, so synced up a Wiimote to my iPad and I can play SNES games on a Wiimote. Now again, pretty good, but not enough buttons on a Wiimote for a SNES pad. No shoulder buttons. So then we dug out your classic controller, and you can use a Wiimote with a classic controller attached to it and play SNES games perfectly.
It works awesome.
Which is pretty cool. So I'm kind of shocked that there's no... I've not seen anything to use a PS3 pad, because that would also work really well, and that's obviously Bluetooth, but the Wiimote works perfectly fine. So we've been playing a crap load of older retro stuff. And subsequently we jailbroke your
iPod. Yeah, Super Nintendo on the world's tiniest screen.
What have you been playing?
Predominantly Earthbound. I've been going through various scrolling beat 'em ups, as that's all there seems to be on Super Nintendo.
When you look back to it on the old SNES library, most of it seems to be scrolling beat 'em ups of some sort, of varying quality.
Yeah.
And practically every single game's made by Konami or Capcom.
Yeah.
But there's some good stuff. I haven't sunk into like the old stuff that you've played to death, so things like Mario Worlds and any Mario games really, or any RPGs. I still don't know if I can get into an RPG on a SNES again now. Too much reading, it's too slow.
Yeah, I can understand.
But I've never played Earthbound.
Earthbound, yeah, neither have I. I'm finding it quite gripping actually.
Yeah, it's one of those games that everyone holds sort of really highly.
Yeah.
And should probably be experienced, but never.
Yeah,
did.
it's quite amusing.
Wasn't that big over here, was it? That's the thing.
I don't think it ever got a UK release.
Maybe not.
I think it's US and Japan only. The thing I find mostly amusing about it is that Pokemon takes a lot of cues from it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Always any little boy, you
Yeah.
know. I don't know what else is the deal with Earthbound. Monsters, Pokeballs.
I don't know if it's Alien Invasion yet. There's a meteor at the
Because the
beginning.
cover's really weird, and the cover's got that weird yellow spaceman thing on it
No,
on the box.
has it?
Yeah.
I thought it was just like suburban houses.
Oh no, maybe
with like a meteor,
there's
like a
maybe
shooting
different
star or something.
maybe different types, but there's one that's got like a big yellow dude with a slit cyclops sort of
Eye visor thing.
Geordie LaForge. So yeah, Earthbound. Did you play any Earthbound, Joe?
No, I never did.
Great. Any games
I
at all?
have. I played loads, just, not many.
It's worth doing, man. Scrolling beat 'em ups.
Spider-Man Maximum Carnage, Captain America and the Avengers. If you are missing an Avengers game because there isn't one for the movie yet, though, did someone say there's one?
Yeah,
in
no.
development?
There was a news story this week that said maybe that there's an Avengers game still coming, but it's not the same one that was discontinued. Or as far as I'm aware, it's not coming from the same. But that was THQ, and I think it was Ubisoft maybe that was doing something, but I'm not.
It might be.
That's just coming from memory.
sounds-
Whether that's the same game and they just picked it up after THQ dropped it, I don't know. That'd be awesome, but it's possible because that footage went out there, live to the world and everyone, so everyone's seen it. So Ubisoft may have gone, oh, there's a want for this game, and the movies smashed every record known to man. So it makes sense to put out an Avengers game. But yeah, at the moment you're playing a different Avengers game.
if you're lacking an Avengers game because you've recently watched a film, do not, and I stress, do not run out and find yourself a cart of Captain America and the Avengers, because it is quite possibly the worst game ever made.
Nice. Okay. And that's just your side scroller.
Yeah, it's no
Who's it
it's
made
no
by?
Batman Returns. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone rubbish.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Final Fight, a lot of Final Fight 2, a lot of Final Fight Guy, a lot of Final Fight 3.
SD.
There's a lot of Final Fights. What's SD?
Final Fight SD. So they've all got super deformed characteristics, big heads.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Never even seen it.
Never released outside of Japan.
One to have a look for. So that's quite cool. But we thought because of all this retro stuff and the occasional drought there is in games that we're going to start playing retro games each week. We're going to do one game each week and talk about it on the following show. We're going to start that this week. We're going to play it in a variety of different ways. Sometimes on the original console, sometimes we're going to be emulating it, and that could be on a PC or an iPad or an iPhone or whatever. Maybe we'll be playing with a Wiimote. That's not the point. We're just going to be looking at these sort of like older games and seeing how they stack up with one key goal: educating Joe. Because Joe, you've not played any games.
I have played games.
Really,
but
what's the End of Space Harrier like?
I am younger than you two, so when I didn't have access to the games that you guys played, I was limited to what I could get hold of, and I didn't know what was around. I was just a kid.
And that is the whole thing we're going to change.
I know.
Educating Joe.
Educating. We need to come up with a little tune as well. So it's like Educating Joe.
What would the tune be?
I don't know. Something like that. A little jingle.
I'd like you to come up with a jingle right now for your own section, Educating Joe. Now, go.
Yeah, I don't do jingles. I have no.
Alright.
So he can't produce music.
Well, we are going to show you some of the greatest games before, and we're also going to play some games that we've never even played before.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff. We're going to try and stay away from stuff that's explicitly in Japanese.
Yeah.
But there may be some weird stuff that is the Japanese release that we still will play. We're going to start off with this week. What did we say was
Zombies Ate My
Zombies Ate
Neighbours.
My Neighbours, which is a classic SNES game. We're going to do that. And we're going to talk about it for next week. I actually hate this game, Joe,
Yeah.
but it was important and I loved it at the time.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to show you what it means to be a gamer.
Yeah. I'm a gamer. I'm just a slightly younger version of a gamer than you two.
This is like sitting around the campfire and listening to the old man's stories. Except for you get to live those stories firsthand, just in retrospect.
I mean, the bonus of doing this as well for Educating Joe is that anyone can join in from this. We can actually, if you're listening and you want to join in with the stuff, play. You can find it anywhere. You can, maybe you've got an old cart lying around, or you can emulate it, or whatever. You can get in, play Zombies Ate My Neighbours. Join us next Tuesday. We'll be talking about it and chime in on Twitter or whatever at things we play to let us know how much you hate or love the game, or suggestions for future games. But Joe, is there any game that you've missed out on that you feel like you really want to play?
Not really, because I
Don't
don't know
know
what's
about
on the
any game.
systems
Right.
and things like that. I'll be looking at names of games and seeing which ones I remember and which I played. And 'cause it's been a long time since I played one.
I reckon we should do Donkey Kong Math.
Donkey Kong Math.
Yeah.
I didn't play Donkey Kong Math.
No one did. Mario's missing.
No, we're definitely not doing Mario's Missing.
Super Double Dragon.
Man, it wasn't good at the time, and you're obsessed with it.
I'm really addicted to it now.
What was you said? It's a 2D version of Arkham Asylum.
No. I'm saying that the combat is Arkham Asylum like.
It's not.
It is.
It's got a count. It's the first game ever with a counter, maybe.
It's a lot more in depth than I was expecting for at the time. I didn't know it was there, and it's it's standard 2D fighter. It's Double Dragon, but it's not like any of the other Double Dragons that came before. And you've got this awesome counter move where you can, if you time it right, you can grab someone's arm as they're punching you and then deck them or throw them around. That just adds a new level of strategy to combat. The combat is wicked. It feels, when you're pulling it off right, it feels like Arkham Asylum.
It doesn't feel anything like Arkham
Are you not doing it right?
Clearly.
It's all,
Clearly, I never do it right.
That game's freaking awesome. 1 to play.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of finding my feet. A lot of stuff doesn't obviously hold the same sway that it used to, kind of 15, 20 years ago. So you go through IPs pretty quickly and dismiss them very quickly.
It's mad to think that back then you'd get a game and you'd play it for months, whereas now it's really hard to sometimes play one for even longer than sort of like half an hour because they're unforgiving and there's a lot of retries and stuff.
Yeah.
And what gets me the most is the limited amount of lives. Quite a lot of games you play, you've got 3 lives, you die, and then it's game over, back to title screen.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen now.
No.
Like now a game urges you so much to finish it and pushes you so much further through it that it's really hard to get to a point. In fact, I can't think of a game recently that's even had a state where you cannot continue.
Yeah.
And yet all these games used to... there'd be different ways of doing it. Maybe you could set the amount of lives you had or the amount of continues you had, but ultimately there came a point where, no, you're starting again.
Yeah.
And that can suck.
And a lot of them don't have save points at all. I mean, you're talking like you switch it off, you start from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Or
don't
horrible
have
password stuff.
They might have passwords, but a lot of them don't even have passwords. Kind of Sonic, for example, you'd have to play in one sitting.
But that's one of the beauties of emulating this stuff now, is that you can just save at any point. The beauty of doing this all on the iPad at the moment is I've got like 50 games all running at the same time at the moment, and you just switch over like changing channel on TV.
But the crazy thing is that's 0 state, so you've got 10 states. So basically 10 slots that you can save any one game into. And all of those games are running on 0 at the moment. It's not like I've got 2 of any one game running simultaneously to take up 0 and 1. And it'll do it for apparently an infinite amount of games.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really good way of using it. But some stuff's brilliant. I'm just finding, going back through some stuff, the animation is brilliant. The art is phenomenal, some of the pixel work. And it's the games that really sort of push things out a little bit further that really sort of stand out. Some games as well just look dreadful.
Yeah.
But most of it is really, really hard.
Yes,
I'm finding these games are really, really hard.
That's one thing I'll always remember, is games always seem to be a lot harder and always seem to take a lot longer as well. Nowadays, games seem to be a lot shorter than what they used to be. And
well, Sniper Elite, good case in point, 5 hours, done. Cheers, thanks very much.
But I just remember spending ages as a kid with the Super Nintendo just trying to play Link to the Past and just getting nowhere.
Link to the Past does get very difficult towards the end. I mean, Super Mario World as well. I mean, all Super Mario games are quite punishing in places. Super Mario World with Star Road does have some particularly excruciating points in it. But maybe that'd be one of the games we look at
During Educating Joe.
It's important. Unfortunately, there's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
It was like what you're talking about 15, 20 years ago. I was either 9 or 4.
But it's still, I know, but 15, 20, you didn't have to all do it then.
Yeah, it was.
You've had 15 or 20 years to catch up.
Your education does not have to start now.
Where have you been? What have you been doing? Coming out with it, boy.
Playing the newer generation and occasionally going back.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to change it. We're going to make things good. Joe, I'm gonna make you have a new appreciation for games and seeing where stuff was and how good it was before it all went wrong.
I was thinking that I'd love to play one of the original Final Fantasies.
Yeah,
we'll ease into it a little bit.
No,
Gently,
I didn't mean for the show.
It's
I
my
meant
first
just,
SNES game, Final Fantasy 2. So.
No, I didn't mean for the show. I just meant for myself at some point.
All this is out there and available for you, so we will definitely get to that.
Yeah.
All right. Has anything else been happening then? We've not managed to track down a copy of Ridge Racer Unbounded, so we haven't had a go on that.
No.
Is there any more demos that have come out? You guys said you played Dirt
Showdown.
Oh yeah, Dirt Showdown. You didn't like it, Joe?
It was terrible. I swear there was only one race on there. It was just like a demolition derby race.
Yeah, as far as I could tell. The figure 8 track.
Yeah, it just seemed to be the worst thing to demo what used to be a rally racing game.
But it's not. This is a new series. This is not part of the Dirt series as standard. This is not Dirt 4.
Oh no, it just seems like they've changed it now, so it's all just the flashy bits of like what 3 had with the. I can't remember what they call it.
It's kind of Codemasters, what you would call it, Need for Speed.
Yeah, well, Codemasters have changed, haven't they? So that's the other thing that's happened recently. Is Codemasters are only going to make racing games now,
right?
And they're just now called Codemasters Racing Studios or Racing Team or something.
Oh, okay. They're
completely rebranded. That's all they're doing. So I was interested when you say you didn't like Dirt Showdown because I thought I'd quite like it because it's not like it's like a more arcadey Dirt, isn't it? Is it just like Demolition Derby stuff, or is there the Gymkhana stuff in there as well?
Yeah, they have like 3 different modes. So there's like a Demolition Derby, there's the Gymkhana, and I can't remember what the third part was.
Okay. It reminds me it feels like it's trying to feel like almost a flat out Void. It's not been a flat out game for a while. It seems like that sort of style of stuff, but I've not seen it, so.
It just seems like they're going for an arcade. They're going for a part of the market where no one, does anything like with the Gymkhana and stuff like that.
Okay.
So.
But does it still look nice? Because Dirt was always it was, they were good looking. The replay engine was really, really snazzy when it was first brought out, and they put it across all. All those games have been really sort of slick.
Yeah, they've always been shiny, and they've always done their car like damage well. So the cars like the way they deform and in crashes and bits come off. They've always done it really well, and the graphics have always been really nice, like you said. And the demo for Showtime was it looked really good. You were in a hot rod, and it was really well built, and you could see they'd put effort into it, and you could see when you were colliding with other cars the damage, and it seemed like they still got the good damage engine in there from 3, but.
Okay, that sounds alright. So why the hate, man? It just sounds like quite cool. It sounds like a less simulation based Dirt game. Everyone loves destruction derbies. They're always good laugh.
I don't know. I seem to be playing less and less arcadey race games and going for more simulation these days. The last arcadey race game I played that I liked was Race Driver Grid, which was a while ago.
Yeah, but it was also a Codemasters thing based off the same engine. But is that arcadey? I don't class Grid as arcade. It was like simulation touring car stuff.
Yeah, the races that they were using weren't arcadey races, but it's like the control system, and it was like the first time they properly used the rewind system in there and things like that. It made it seem quite arcadey compared to what Race Driver used to be like, because it used to be very serious simulation, and then they changed it so the handling was less sort of
rigid.
That's the word I was looking for.
Fair enough. All right. Well, has anything else come up then? That's Showdown. I can't think of any other demos. That
Spec Ops went up today, but obviously that was just before we started recording, so none of us have had a look at that. We'll maybe have a chat.
I'm not into Spec Ops.
I don't think I'm going to enjoy it.
I loved Spec Ops back on the PS1.
Whoa, hang on. So wait, I've not been into previous Spec Ops. Is this the Spec Ops that's all about sand?
Yeah. Spec Ops The Line. So it's in Dubai.
Actually, then I am looking forward to this one. We'll be done with it. No, because that sounded really interesting. Although it's fair, again, another sort of fairly troubled development. But it sounds. I'm into this sort of seeing what they do with sand. Shooting stuff so that sand falls on people and things.
Yeah,
it sounds kind of like a gimmick to me.
Yeah, I think it's like it's
going to go one. It's going to go one of two ways, isn't it? It's going to either be vital to the gameplay or completely irrelevant to the gameplay, and just a little nice effect that's been added.
I don't know, because they're always discussing about the world changing and hiding from dust storms.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty integral, isn't it? It's supposed to be like all the talk of fluid dynamics a few years back, and there's now sand pours here and there, and
we'll see. I'm interested because I love the original Spec Ops on PlayStation 1. I played loads of those, and they were great. So I'm hoping they've done really well with this one. They've changed it because Spec Ops used to be first person. Now this is third, and it's all squad based. But we'll see. I'm interested to play the demo.
Okay. And is anything else going up?
No, Minecraft tomorrow.
Minecraft tomorrow, yeah.
Don't know about
1,600
demos,
Microsoft
yeah,
points.
1,600.
That's a lot of Microsoft points for Minecraft.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
I think it'll be awesome.
I don't think I'm gonna like it.
I'm gonna get it. I'll probably enjoy it because I played it on a bit on PC, and hopefully it's like it was on PC because I was quite enjoying that.
Last week, didn't you want to talk about Junk Jack and then forgot to speak about it?
I did, yeah. Junk Jack was a game I was playing on iOS, which was like Minecraft sort of. It's more like Terraria, which is obviously it's like Minecraft anyway. But it uses the Minecraft crafting method of you
which is the
having
thing
recipes
that I hated about Junk Jack. So which puts me in a bad mind for how I'm going to feel about Minecraft.
Crafting in Minecraft. Yeah, it's
because I like the Terraria crafting system, and Terraria is kind of like my first foray into that sort of world. Even though a lot of the time I was playing Terraria, I did just have Wiki open.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like the Minecraft in particular is a lot of it's based around that exploration of stuff, and it continues not just physically in the world, but into the things you're making and crafting. And Terraria is more explicit with you do this, you get this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how you get on with it. To be honest, I really like Minecraft, but I don't like the crafting or building elements of it. I like the survival style.
Yeah,
stuff.
you said.
And there's multiplayer in the 360 version, isn't there? So.
Oh, okay.
It'll be interesting to see, but it's a lot of money. That's a lot for a game that was very cheap all the time. It was in beta for all those years when it was on PC, and even now on PC isn't that much. 1,600 Microsoft points seems like a lot.
Seems about the same price. I can't remember how much it is on PC. I think it's like $17 or something.
Yeah, it probably is.
So it's about the same price.
It's just a game that I think I've associated with being free to play, just for the fact that it was all that time that it was in beta for years.
I mean, there is a massive unbalancing of pricing between systems anyway. I mean, for Angry Birds example, my girlfriend has an Android phone and she gets full games for free on her Android. And obviously on an iPhone they're like 70p, 69p, which I mean it's not much. But then on PC they're like 10 quid. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's difficult. I suppose there's all the different models and things. You must be able to get Angry, because Angry Birds you can play in Chrome, can't you, as well? That's the other thing.
Oh, really?
So there's different ways of doing it, but obviously there's a boxed retail version
Yeah.
as well. So there's different sort of costs attached. But yeah, it's pricing is not fair across the board, it would seem. But then that's just like, well, then choose your weapon.
Yeah.
Don't buy it on that if it's going to cost you £7 more or whatever. So yeah, Minecraft will be interesting. I don't know how that's going to go. It'd be interesting to see what people make inside Minecraft and what the sharing abilities are of the things you are going to make in your worlds and stuff. But part of the fun of the PC version, or part of how a lot of the really extravagant creations came in it, but they weren't built in Minecraft anyway. They were just imported in.
Oh, okay.
You see, and you're not going to be able to do that on your 360.
No.
You're not going to be able to suddenly import the model of the USS Enterprise or something. You're going to have to build it yourself. So how that works, I don't know, but it'd be interesting.
A lot of things I've seen built on Minecraft have actually been built, not imported. So they've been, all mined out of the world that they were specifically built on. And I've seen this one world where they just set challenges, and some of the crazy things they built on there is awesome. But we'll see how well it works with the Xbox. Yeah,
it's a big title for them. It's what they're using to close this promotion on there at the moment, and that's a whacking price.
It is.
I can't think of anything else that's been that much on XBLA. There must have been something, but it's just dang.
But it's not really
for a game but the game is so steeped in being an indie game. Yeah, like when you think when ordinary Joe thinks indie game, there's a fair chance that Minecraft's what they think of. That's the one they'll have heard of.
Yeah.
And so it's still very indie attached. And that's more expensive than anything else.
It's
just sort of like it seems to go against the idea of it being this sort of small independent thing.
Minecraft seems weird because it's not really an Xbox Live title and it's not really a full release title. It's somewhere in between. So
is it? So how do you mean?
Because Minecraft is
what are you talking
the
about?
game itself is too big to really be an Xbox Live title or anything like that.
In what sense?
Physically,
file size?
Yeah, no, file size wise, it just The game itself the way that it works, because it randomly generates the world, and it generates as you move around, so the world gets bigger, and the file size of that saved world gets bigger on PC. I'm just using it must use a similar system on Xbox. So it seems like it's not really an Xbox Live title, but it's not a full title either.
So if I just wander in one direction for long enough, it will just take up the whole of my hard drive.
They've got it. But it is. Oh, I thought you were saying it wasn't an Xbox Live Arcade game.
No, I'm assuming.
But it is, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Games on Demand. No.
Okay.
It's part of the Xbox Arcade Next, isn't it, or whatever it's called?
You're just crazy, Joe.
Yeah, it just doesn't
Crazy
seem like
Joe.
it should be an Xbox Live title.
No,
Yeah.
well, but then I don't know how we decide that. What should or shouldn't be an Xbox Live Arcade title?
I don't think we do decide that. No, something that Microsoft does.
No, I was just saying it just doesn't seem like it should be. You know.
And is that good or bad?
I don't know. It just
The mind of Joe.
it could just no. What I'm just saying is it could explain why it seems more expentive than your average Xbox Live.
It
title.
is more expensive.
I feel like I'm in the lawnmower
Xbox.
man.
No, I was just
Okay. I think that's probably enough Minecraft.
yeah.
It's out tomorrow, so let's have a look and pick it up. We'll make some sort of crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna start building for 5 minutes. Ago. Screw this.
Probably.
You know.
That's kind of what
but
happened
this
with
game's come not built.
It's kind of what happened with my Trials Evolution track.
Yeah.
I started off building it on. Screw this.
Exactly. I don't think that's like I want my games to come already assembled. Not like Lego. Whereas part of the fun of Lego is building it.
You don't actually build anything in Lego. You hold a button and it builds it for you.
Not the Lego game, real Lego.
Oh right. That's what I do in real Lego as well. I just hold a button and it builds it for me.
All right. Okay. So yeah, Minecraft tomorrow. We'll have a look at that. Anything else?
I've got Awesome Noughts. I might play it.
You should play it, actually.
I've played the opening level, and it seems like it's not the game for me. But because it's all on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll force myself to have a go before next week and give you some
It
kind
looks alright. It's kind of
on
tower defense. It's kind of a MOBA game, isn't it? So
it looks. I mean, it looks swish as hell graphically.
Yeah.
It's very smooth. It's very, very souped in HD.
It looks like it's like if it's not your thing, though, you're just not gonna like it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's all defending turrets and attacking down other turrets,
Yeah.
and a lot of time. It looks really quite grindy in that. There's a lot of fighting until your energy's really down, then running back against some health, then running back and doing that, then running back. And
from what I've played of it, it seems exactly.
It's got a cool style, and the name's pretty sweet.
And the intro is awesome as well.
So
it's not just a clever name.
You should definitely try it if you bought it.
Oh yeah,
if you bought it, you should play it. That's kind of
agreed.
It's kind of the deal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some more Toe Jam and Earl.
Dun,
Jamming.
Dun, 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 dun. Play Toe Jam and Earl before?
Yeah, I actually have.
On Xbox or Mega Drive?
Mega Drive.
Wow.
Wow.
Was it 2 or 1?
Might have been the second one.
Fail. Epic
fail.
fail.
It wasn't
New
mine.
high tops for you.
It wasn't mine. I played it around someone's house, and it was quite a long time ago.
Well, that's coming up in Educating Joe. All right. Well, in that case, I don't know. Is there anything more that you guys have got to get out there? You need to get out there off your chest before it gets wrapped up for a week.
Probably. I'll think of it about 10 minutes after we finish.
Yeah.
I can say a little bit about Resident Evil Operation
Oh,
Raccoon
man, we
City.
completely forgot. We completely forgot.
Raccoon City. And probably with good reason.
Yeah.
Kick it, Joe.
Slant 6, isn't it? Slant 6, the SOCOM guys.
Oh yeah, it's just the game itself is terrible. Just I can't say a nice thing about it.
Excellent.
It's just I wanted to like it ever since before it came out, and I'd seen videos. It seemed like a good idea, but it's just terrible. It's a really the cover system on it doesn't work because you don't. With most of them, you press a button and they'll go into cover. With this, you walk up to it and you have to sort of walk into it and just hope that the player will stick.
Right.
And then it's like there's parts where my character doesn't stop at the end. They'll keep going, so their head's sticking out, and they just carry on getting shot. And it's and then the shooting system's really bad as well.
So hang on. I thought you was killing zombies. Who's shooting at you?
Oh no, because there's some sort of military group. They don't explain who they are. They're like the army or something. They're just some spec ops guys that you end up shooting at for some reason.
We're in Resident Evil 2 time, right?
I think it's
it's
between the first and the second one.
Leon's in it though.
Yeah, it's got Leon Kennedy, Claire Redfield, Ada Wong's in there, and it's got someone else in there. Nemesis is in it.
Okay, so it's around. It's around
It's around the 2 because you go to the
Yeah.
police station and stuff. In 2, I think that's
Yeah.
in the game.
At the beginning, you're in the police station, aren't you?
Yeah,
And Will Smith dies on you.
that's true. So yeah, you just generally don't like it.
No, it was. I played through it. It took me 2 hours and 59 minutes, and I had no urge whatsoever to go back through it. It has a system where you level up, so you earn experience points, and then with those experience points, you can buy special abilities, you can buy weapons and things like this. But it's just like all the weapons feel very similar. They're all really shit. It's just the game just doesn't have anything going for it. They had this whole thing about meeting Leon Kennedy and other people from other games. About 5 minutes of 2 hours and 59 minutes, I saw Leon Kennedy.
Right.
And how was that for you?
It was just terrible. It's just Leon Kennedy just running around.
There's not a lot that really appeals to me about this game anyway. It's sort of like it just looks.
And it's
phoned in Resident Evil. It's not, it's not real Resident Evil, is it? It's
No,
just
it's
an
just-
offshoot Resident Evil.
yeah.
And there's a lot of bad offshoot Resident Evil stuff already. The light gun games in particular are pretty bad. So it's not. I wasn't expecting great things from it.
Yeah, I wasn't, expecting much from it, and I didn't get anything from it.
Did you play it online at all?
I played some co-op with a friend, and I just, it was just like, as soon as it finished, like, yeah, I'm out of it. Just gave me 180 gamer score just for completing the game. Just 180. It's nothing. And a few of those were achievements I just decided to squeeze out. Like my friend got infected, so I shot him in the head and killed him, just for an achievement, and just left him there.
Well, you've really sold that game to us, Joe.
Yeah.
Because the basic premise is that you've got multiple different unit types.
Yeah.
And in theory, you should then go back and complete the game with each one of them.
Yeah, but that would involve wanting to do that. Some of them have cool abilities. My friend was playing as the bioscientist, I think it was, and they have the ability to take control of zombies.
Right.
So lickers and all that sort of stuff, you can get them to work for you. But yeah, you have medics, and their ability is they can carry more health packs than other people. And I just played as the general soldier because that's the class they normally play. So I was just running around with a gun shooting people, and just the game. It could have been so much better than it was if they'd really put the effort in. It seemed like they were really trying to make it good, but they just failed.
So not Capcom's B team, we're thinking Capcom's C team.
Well, it wasn't even Capcom, was it?
No, was it not?
No, it's Slant 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it was the guys who did SOCOM. Which, and MAG. Which means it shouldn't have been terrible.
No,
I don't
know.
Shouldn't have been great. But
Didn't hear particularly great things about MAG either.
But MAG was alright. MAG was a perfectly decent shooter, apart from that it didn't do the stuff that it promised on. And the stuff they did promise on wasn't as good, because it never will. That many people in a battle is never going to be as good as the idea of it. But competent.
Right.
So it's kind of weird that this seems to have taken a bit of a... I mean, I've heard a lot of bad things about this, but it seems like it's just Slant 6 really have gone off and taken a weird tangent and not really done anything on the quality, yeah.
Yeah, they just tried to build this third-person zombie shooter, and it just didn't work.
That doesn't it just sound boring anyway?
Yeah.
Really, oh great, a zombie shooter in third person, great.
They were like building up, you'd be fighting hordes of zombies, and
I've fought enough hordes of zombies. I don't need to do that ever again.
I know, I just thought I'd give it a go. And,
Why is that going to be any better than Left 4 Dead,
It really wasn't.
No. So, yeah, I'm not... Has anyone played any games this week that they've liked? Has anyone enjoyed a game in the last 7 days?
Yeah, I like Sniper.
You liked Sniper Elite?
Yeah.
You recommend it?
Yeah. In a way.
Hesitantly.
Yeah.
It is a good game. Not full price, but it's good.
Alright.
I quite liked so far Prototype 2 and Fable Heroes. I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend them, certainly not to everyone.
Yeah, but if you've got a game and you want to keep current, you're alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it then for this week. I mean, next week we'll be starting Educating Joe.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about Zombies Ate My Neighbours,
Yep.
which will be an interesting one. Is there anything else coming out? Minecraft we'll have on the next week's
Yeah,
show.
I don't know what, if at all there are any box games out this Friday.
I'm not sure.
The next
Max
one.
Payne
Max
is
Payne is the week
the
after.
18th, yeah.
So we were all wrong with our dates.
Yes.
Last week, but we'll have Max Payne coming up soon. And any new demo stuff? Like I say, the
The
Spec
Spec
Ops.
Ops.
Spec Ops demo we'll be playing after the show, and so look out for us that way. Alright, well in the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at thingsweplay@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter at thingsweplay. We'll see you in 7 days, I guess. That's it. Get out, go home.
Aye. They're probably at home already.
No, probably.
Yeah.
Well, no.
They might be on a bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be on a bus.
Do you reckon we should say goodbye or just leave it?
No, I think-
No,
Silence.
I'm just enjoying the ride.
The silence.
Riding on a bus.
I'm not enjoying the ride anymore. All right, we'll see you in a week's time.
Goodbye.
Bye.